So let's continue with the final stretch. And there was already talk in the channels behind the scenes about beer. So I think we should get on with it and continue the last couple of things and prepare for tomorrow. So your host for tomorrow will be Carolina. So I would like to give her the floor for now to introduce the program for tomorrow, and let us hear about what we're going to experience then.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Marius. Yeah, thank you all for joining us today, and we have very good attendance rate and pretty stable. Super happy about that. And today we were more into presentations and discussions. Tomorrow we will have more workshopy day. And so tomorrow we start at the same time in the same channel. There might be some open space pop-up session before. If this happen, I will inform you widely on Twitter and on a Slack channel. But nevertheless, we will start 12:30 CAT. And then first workshop will be on MyData Community in action. I will ask also all the organizers to tell one word of introduction, and we will go also through the PDS workshop, how to design the ultimate MyData app, something that Alessandro already mentioned. And afterwards, we will have also the open space session on dissemination and trust in a pandemic. And maybe Marlis, if you can change the slides. Yes, so the introduction to the Friday workshop. Maybe if we have Vivi online, can you say a couple of words? What will be MyData Global Strategy or MyData Community in Action workshop tomorrow at 1 o'clock?
Thanks. Yeah, happy to do that. So we heard today about the MyData Global Strategy, and tomorrow is really about putting it into action, about how the MyData community can support each other in making our shared vision come true. So we will spend the hour, well, the 50 minutes plus the 10-minute break, talking about very concrete things and doing very concrete things that will put the strategy into action in a very concrete way.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much. And I understand that this will be very it will not be theory, it will be practice, call for action, and how people can really contribute in those challenging times. So welcome to that session. Marlis, if I can ask you to change the slide. Yes, and then PDS workshop. So Dixon, can you open this for us, why people should attend and who should attend?
Yes, probably those who like to work with PDS or who's the PDS provider or software provider, open source, closed source, they can come and join, and I'll give you the agenda. Initially we aim for 1.5 hours, but now it's only 1 hour, so 10 minutes of introduction why we create this interoperability team or workshops with Christoph and Salman, and they will give 10 minutes of the descriptions, and then another 40 minutes of maybe showing the demo. The demo is going to be connecting from Christoph applications using the common endpoints protocol to connect to Freezer, which is Salman's own PDS. So hopefully everyone who's interested into interoperability or MyData operator thingy will join us, and then we can discuss how to make it the standard or something. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Dixon. And the next workshop will be on how to design the ultimate MyData app workshop. Alessandro, do you want to repeat your invitation to this workshop? If Alessandro is with us still? Is Peter or Marlia? Jose? All right. Yeah. Well, no. Yeah. Okay, Maria Jose, hello. Do you want to say one the invitation to the workshop, to the community?
Yeah, so hello. Yesterday we discussed, of course, what MyData operator should look like. But once he or she is making the app for the general public, there are some challenges that we have to face. So tomorrow we will elaborate on those challenges and invite everybody to join us.
Perfect, thank you. So welcome to those workshops, and now we can close our day today. We started with Mentimeter, and I would like us to go to the Mentimeter again. Please know that we have the other code, and if I can also ask Marlies to put the Mentimeter on the deck. You can see the URL and you can see the code on the screen. And our first question is, please put one word that describes what inspired you today. I think each of you has 3 entries, so actually you can put more than only one word. So let's wait for your contributions, for your comments. Okay. You, us, and I'm sure that us is us, like as the community. Community progress. Number of attendees. Wow, MyData community, community learning, data information friends, fantastic. Involvement. Corona MyData treatment. Okay, there is still organization, bottom up. Progress. Okay, I see. Well, when you see the word being bigger than the other, this means that more people entered it. So we see here very strong community coming up, ideas. I see friends. I see insightful. Thank you so much. This is very encouraging also for us, and a great feedback. You can still put your entries while we are moving to the second question. And Marlies will help me to go there. Yeah, how happy are you about today's meeting? And the scale is, oh, it was the waste of time, or it was awesome. So please, like, what do you feel now after some hours being with us? Okay, I see that generally we've done pretty good as like the community. And of course, you had a great part in doing this happen. Thank you. Wow, this is very encouraging. And what about the last question for the Mentimeter? All right, so now you know that we have sessions tomorrow, 3 workshops and 1 open space session. What sessions will you join tomorrow? And you can choose them more than one. When you're invited, of course, to all the sessions, and we are happy to welcome you anytime. You can come for the whole day. You can choose the session that is most relevant for you. And of course, we understand that working from home is not that you can only enjoy MyData, but you might also have some other tasks to do and other people to take care for when working from home. Okay. I see that then that the design session, the design workshop is very popular, and also, of course, the pandemic is trending now. So again, very much, welcome to join us tomorrow at 12:30. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your feedback, and back to Marlies.
I think we have some closing remarks. I would like to give Timo the floor to help end our day here together.
Sure. Actually, before we close, I have a couple of things, but I'd be interested in hearing. I mean, we went through tomorrow and the feedback really quickly, faster than one would ever imagine. So I think we have a couple of minutes. It would be really interesting to hear a little bit from you. Any kind of open comments, thoughts, suggestions, other things that you might have. I have a few things in the end, but before that, I'd love to hear if anybody has something they'd like to voice out at this time.
I think you can also pick on people and throw the ball.
I can pick on people. That's a great idea. So we have this this habit of throwing the ball, and yeah, it's great. I see tons of faces, tons of people who I actually don't know, but I'll throw the ball at somebody who I know by name, but I don't know that much about. So I'm wondering if Mike Schmidt, you've joined us from
How I know you would do this.
Did you?
Yes.
Do you want to tell us how's it going?
Good. I listened to the session, and yeah. So I mean, it's very interesting stuff. I put some information about this Canadian initiative, and John gave the explanation. So thanks to John.
What would you like to tell us about Canada and MyData?
So we're still working on to create a hub here. So that's it's a process. We have official the application in, and yeah, and I joined yesterday the meeting with Sile and the other folks from the other hubs in, I think from Spain was two, and Sweden.
Wonderful. And actually, we've had Canada as some time with John and with others. It's been on our mind that, hey, we really should get things rolling in Canada. So it's absolutely fantastic to hear of the enthusiasm there. And I think you had your first session or meeting on the International Data Privacy Day.
Yes. So that was just a virtual meeting. But that was nice, and we had some people joining, and that started also maybe a movement, and maybe see also what other organization is doing something. So there was also an event last week from women in cybersecurity, so we got a bit associated with them. So there's a lot of going on, and that's the goal of this new hub, to associate liaison with this other organization doing something here in Canada and spread the word and get more members.
That's wonderful. And just to reiterate, even though we are now talking about the EU data strategy and such, let's not forget that that's not the geographic scope of what we do. Rather we want to think global. So thanks again. Who would you like to pass the ball to? Who would you like to hear maybe a couple of words from?
Oh, let's go to Paul, because I know him somehow. Paul Knowles. That's actually two. One is his face. Is he still there?
We have two other polls to choose from as well.
Oh, so one is with his face, so that's the one I meant.
Well, Paul Knowles, if you're not there, you're muted. Can maybe the other Paul can introduce himself and say a few words.
That would be great also.
Okay, looks like we're having bad luck with the Pauls. Shall we try somebody else?
Hi to you, it's Christine.
Hi.
Hi, can I make a comment?
Of course, welcome.
Yes, welcome. Maybe I open my camera. Oh, I don't know why it doesn't work. But anyway, I'm on my phone. Yes, hi, I'm Christine from Paris. I'm working at OneCub, and I'm helping Olivier also with new governance. I know it's great that all the how do you say, traction we make with the European Commission, and they're backing our vision, and they also the financing. I was wondering, from the consumer side, are you aware of any initiatives to also make them aware of their new rights? Because, for example, in France, I mean, people barely know about these the portability rights. So I was wondering, do we have any initiatives happening? Are we planning anyone in the future to also make consumers aware of the right and adopt, you know, the new tools and the new infrastructure that we're building.
So who'd like to comment on that? Maybe just a comment from MyData Global perspective. Our key stakeholder is the industry and the organizations. But of course, we have many partners who work in direct linkage with citizens themselves, like Paul Olivier's personaldata.io, like UNICEF and others. And probably, at least we're looking to see if we can kind of help some initiatives here in Finland, but that's not a wide-reaching initiative. So I think here's a good one to ask the community about. Anybody have know of such initiatives?
Hello. So actually in France we have some initiatives like this. Some people working on the digital literacy. They, for example, the Tuba, it's a kind of Tuba is like tube experimentation, which means, you know, like a place for experimenting, and they are having a kind of developing a program to raise awareness about different digital issues, among them the GDPR and how the individuals can be empowered. Tuba is, I'm going to write it, it's like this here. We have been working actually with them through the Maison Info project several times, and they do a lot of things in helping raising awareness among citizens. And I lately also have heard about La Rochelle, who is actually doing an experimentation about what we call the self-data for cities. And one of the things that they want to do is different workshops and sessions with the individuals in order to raise awareness regarding different digital issues, among them the self-data, MyData, and empowering their citizens with that. So these are the two things that I am aware of.
Yeah. Oh, merci. Thank you, Sarah. Yes, I'm aware actually La Rochelle of the city. The city, how to say, app, but that's good. They have a consumer, how to say, side on this. Thank you.
Yes, definitely. And oh yeah, and another one which is at Rennes. I don't know, maybe you have heard about Rudy. Let me write it here. It is a kind of European project to create an interface for individuals and organizations, and there is a strong citizen part of it with a kind of same topic regarding digital literacy too.
Okay, and Christine, would you like to pass the ball? We have a chance for a couple more.
Actually, well, there's a lot of people I don't know yet, so I don't know. How about Folky or Folk, maybe?
We cannot hear you. I can see your mouth is moving, but your sound is so faint that I'm afraid we cannot hear you at the moment. Folke, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to take a pass as we are not hearing you. Who would like to take the ball from Folke and maybe ask or comment something? I would love to hear from people who are a little bit new to the community, who have not been in these meetings. Who would be the brave one to say a few words?
So somebody has to, you know,
thank you.
Respond to that. My name is Maria. This is my first time in such a meeting, but I work for the European Union Open Data Portal. And we do see that the future is moving towards, citizens being prosumers, not just consumers, but also producers of data. So they should have a say in it. But we are exploring ways to move forward so that we can combine our efforts to the benefit of all. This is my main interest in the topic. And we were actually trying to find a way nowadays to somehow collect resources on data for COVID-19, and this is where I found the first, thread and started looking into this. Thank you very much.
Thanks indeed for joining. And I think the Open Data Portal, we've had interactions with those that team before as well, and definitely need to do more so in the future. Thanks, Maria. Any one more volunteer before we wrap up? I wonder if Robert, just picking on you, your last name is a little bit difficult for my poor German skills, but can you forgive me and have a couple of words?
Okay, no problem. My name is Robert Schuschnigg-Fowler. I work for SAP, and I'm interested, we're interested in to see what's going on with MyData, especially the human-centric approach. As you know, SAP is a relatively large company that doesn't collect data. We process it, but we don't collect it. So we're taking a look at MyData. Is this something that we want to, is this a road we would like to go down? Would we like to support it? So right now we're listening and trying to see if there's something there that where we can join in or maybe not join in. Again, this is we're just checking it out right now. So totally new. I am personally a member as a person, as an individual, because I'm highly interested in it. I've been interested in it for a long time, but that's it. So I'm a new face.
That's thanks for sharing, and that's really interesting to hear. And of course, I think more and more we're getting larger companies involved. There will be a few announcements on that in the upcoming weeks. And of course, it does help that we are growing, and the data strategy mentioning MyData as one. For sure, we will find a lot of people who are interested in helping out or understanding better how we could work with SAP, for example. So really,
SAP is also involved in Gaia X. So one of the sponsors there. So, we have our eyes open and looking, to see if I think it's interesting. I think this is a very interesting approach, doing it the other way around, not only from businesses to people, but the other way around as well. Maybe there's a way to facilitate that.
That sounds good, and with the Gaia X, we've been interacting both on a governmental level and then more on more lower levels on how we can collaborate there. And the Berlin conference, which is scheduled for September, may have a Gaia X element to it. Right now, it's of course totally unrealistic to estimate today whether or not we will have that event in September or perhaps November or December or whatever. Nonetheless, there are some good linkages now with Gaia X, which makes things more interesting, and yeah, that's definitely one stream of activity to continue. Thanks, but we'll continue this further, not to take it into a conversation between just us two. Great. So thanks, Robert. We're 26 past the hour. In just a couple of minutes, starting the new governance open space. Who wants to join that? And just to kind of wrap up here with what we started, our southern neighbors, Estonia's president's words. President Meri was known to have rather interesting quotes. This one kind of fits the current situation. It fits the current situation of us all, I think. So as I said, we've kind of had to reconfigure our lives and quite a bit. And at the same time, it's an exciting time to have the community together as well. So as I said, we really need to pull and work together. It's been really exciting to hear from all over the community about initiatives, old and new. And of course, we continue more on those. And Marlies, if you can just put one slide back, there's just a couple of links. I'm sure many of you have seen and are aware of these links, but because we have so many new faces, I would just like to highlight these four. So first of all, the MyData Declaration, very much our guiding and explaining our mission. The white papers at mydata.org/papers. The Slack channel, of course, as mentioned numerous times. And then, of course, if you are a MyData member, and thank you everybody who is, your contribution is highly valued, as is your membership fee, regardless of whether that's €1 or 150, or whether if you're an organization, it's 250 or 5,000. The scale is big, and we thank everybody for your support. If you are not yet a member of MyData Global, please do join for individuals at a cost of from €1 up, and from organizations quite reasonable as well. We've just had a really good month, so just within the last month, over 10 new organizations joining, and a few more quite interesting announcements coming up, I believe during April. So yeah, as I think we've agreed today, not just regarding Corona, but also regarding our whole mission, we most definitely need a bunch of us working together. So with that, I think we're just about done for the day. Tomorrow we continue. Now, for those in the same channel, we're continuing still with a new governance workshop or description for the next hour. So those who want to stay, welcome. To those who are deciding or have to leave, I thank you again from it was a really awesome day. Thank you for joining, and hope you can make it tomorrow.